Gonna need some coffee after that one. Man, if I've said it once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it again. Are those Baltimore City Connect uniforms hideous or what? And I'm starting to think that they're actually cursed. We'll get into the game Baltimore just played right after this. Let's go O's! What's going on, Birdland? Bobst here, and unfortunately I am here this morning to report an 8-1 shellacking by the Minnesota Twins. Game was not even close from the jump. We'll go ahead and get into the box score. Minnesota scored 1 run in the first, 1 run in the second, 3 runs in the third, and 3 runs in the fourth. Just absolutely just put the game away from the jump. Guess how many runs Baltimore scored in the first 4 innings? 0. It's not going to get it done. So it's 8-0 after 4. And, I mean, just lifeless. It was once again just looked lifeless. Kramer didn't have his command. A lot of batting practice, pitches, and they touched him up. Don't forget now, as we go through this, the Twins hitting, that Minnesota as a club is batting about .230. Well, I want you to start to notice, you'll notice when I read off some of these numbers, a pattern. So, Correa was 2 for 4. Julian was 0 for 2. Farmer was 1 for 3. Buxton was 2 for 4. We're talking about somebody who's batting 200. Kirilloff, 2 for 5. Lewis, 3 for 5. Kepler, 2 for 5. Jeffers did go 0 for 5. Castro was 0 for 4. Gallo was 1 for 3 with a walk. Whew. Buxton had a blast. Kepler had a blast. And Gallo had a blast. Kepler and Gallo's blasts were, their home runs were against Kramer. And then Buxton just put one around the left field pole against Zimmerman when he came in, who wasn't pitching terribly bad at that junction. But he came in to give him some length. And he had 2 on, and Buxton just smashed one to left. And that seems to be, what Baltimore's struggling with right now. That's the second game in a row, because Gibson had it happen to him again, that the Baltimore starters just got obliterated from the jump. And Baltimore is starting in a hole. They're playing a lot of baseball from behind lately, and it's not a good look. It's not a good look at all. So Minnesota finishes with 8 runs, 13 hits. Club that's batting .230 as a team, 13 hits, and 0 errors. Let's go over the Orioles hitters. Cedric Mullins, 0 for 3 with a walk. Rutschman, the one bright spot, if you will. He inches a homer over the right field wall. He went 1 for 4 with a dinger. Anthony Santander, 1 for 4. Ryan O'Hearn, 0 for 4. Austin Hayes, 2 for 4. Gunnar Henderson, 0 for 4. Urias, 0 for 3 with a walk. Frazier, 0 for 2. Jordan Westberg, 0 for 1. And Anthony Bemboom, 0 for 2 with a walk. The Birds finish with 1 run on that Adley Rutschman solo shot in the 6th, and 4 hits. 4 of them. Not going to get it done. Not going to get it done. Let's look at the pitching. Pablo Lopez, he pitched great. He pitched 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 3 walks, and 6 Ks. Pitch count was 100. And when I say that Baltimore couldn't barrel anything up, I mean, he got a lot of pop-outs to the infield as well. Just pitches that were in on the hands. They ran off to the end of the bat. And Baltimore just did not barrel anything up. The one, like I said, lone bright spot was Adley Rutschman taking that one pitch over the right field wall, but that was Pablo Lopez's lone mistake of the night. Moran came in, pitched an inning, no hits. Pagan came in, pitched an inning, he gave up one hit, and then Balazovic came in, pitched an inning, didn't give up any hits. Now, I want you to notice Baltimore's pitching side. So Dean Kramer, he goes 3 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned. 2 walks, 5 Ks, and he gave up 2 home runs. Bruce Zimmerman, 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earn, and obviously that's because the 3-run shot that Buxton hit, the runners on first and second, belonged to Kramer. He gave up a home run. Vespi pitched decent, came in, gave him some length, 3 innings. He did give up 3 hits, but he also had 3 strikeouts. So it was good to see Nick Vespi come up and give him some length. Hopefully he can continue that. That's what they brought him up to do. And Cionel Perez came up, pitched an inning, and he gave up a hit. But I want you to notice that 2 of the Twins pitchers, they came in, didn't give up any hits. Every one of Baltimore's pitchers, they at least gave up a hit. So, the Baltimore Orioles are getting tagged right now, and we need to fix it. Gotta stinking fix it, man. And once again, this may be superstitious. You can call it what you want, but every time they play in those just absolutely atrocious uniforms that match, they don't match at all. They're atrocious, especially that color on the cuffs. It is by far the worst baseball uniform that I've ever seen. I don't know how you could not agree with that. And they play, every time they wear it, exactly how they look. That uniform is cursed, and we need to throw it in the trash. Please, let's throw it in the trash. They're terrible when they play in that uniform. At least they're competitive when they look like the Orioles. Let me know in the comments section what you think about that, because I think it's if I had a team meeting, that's what I would start with. Hey, those uniforms, we're scrapping them. It's not happening anymore. We're not wearing them. Yeah, but I don't care. We're getting rid of the uniforms. You guys stink every time you stink and wear them. So they got to go. So the Twins rebound from getting swept by the Braves by pounding the O's in Game 1. And obviously, after the Orioles already lost the series to the Reds, that just puts the pressure on them, that they're going to have to come out there and play hard these next 2 games if they're going to take this series. You don't want to lose back-to-back series, at home before the All-Star break when you're trying to stay close to the best team in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays. And Tampa Bay won yesterday, and Baltimore lost, which puts them 6.5 games back of Tampa Bay for first now, and in the AL East. So, and one of the things that I read about was that Minnesota allegedly had this team meeting after that sweep for the Braves. Well, I think that it's time that the Birds have a team meeting, because so it just seems like every once in a while they'll come out and they're just not playing good baseball. And it seems to be correlated with those uniforms. But just uncompetitive. Just uncompetitive baseball. That's the issue. So the final announced attendance for the game was 34,792, so they had a pretty good showing for a Friday night game. Game time was 2 hours and 50 minutes, and it was 2 hours and 50 minutes of struggle, because it was a difficult game to watch as an Orioles fan. I'm sure Minnesota fans were having a blast because their team was playing so good, and they're not used to hitting so much. But they pounded the Orioles, and, that was just stinking terrible to watch. Just terrible. So, what do you guys think about Jordan Westburg not being in the starting lineup? 3 games, he's batting .417. He's looked good in each one. And I get it. There's a righty on the mound. You want to get that lefty matchup, and Frazier's in there. Hey, I'm perfectly fine with that. But with the righty batting, and the difference right now with the bat of Westburg and even Ramon Urias, I mean, Westburg can play defense too. And, when you look at the box score, yeah, Westburg came in and he struck out swinging. I get it. But it is different when you come off the bench as opposed to when you're starting. And Ramon went 0 for 3. And he's batting .256. I get it, he's a quality player. But I just felt like Jordan Westburg kind of deserved a chance to go out there and continue his hot streak. You don't want to let a bat that's warming up or hot, cool down on the bench. That's especially the Orioles, last night when they were struggling to string together any kind of hits. So, a lot of things to fix. That was lackluster, to say the least. The good news is we don't have to wait till 7 o'clock because the Baltimore Orioles will be playing the Twins today at 4:05. 4:05, first pitch, Minnesota Twins at the Baltimore Orioles. And it's going to be an opportunity for Baltimore to, once again, right this ship because last night it did not look good. So 4:05, first pitch, Minnesota 41-42, still a game under 500. Baltimore's 48-32. Like was said in my preview video, Bailey Ober, right-handed pitcher, is going to be tossed out by the Twins against Kyle Bradish. And we need a good starting pitching outing. I'm counting on you, Kyle, to come through and make it happen. And we need these stinking bats to warm up too. So another right-handed pitcher on the mound. I fully expect Frazier to stay in at second. But I think that Westburg needs to be in, I think especially after the way that Ramon played yesterday. So they'll get a chance today at 4:05. Once again, Ober versus Bradish. And I'll be sending out a little link as soon as they release the starting lineup for the day. But hopefully we can, because the end of June was rough. It's July 1st. It's July 1st. Hopefully the Baltimore Orioles can turn the page and we can get back to some of that Orioles baseball that we were seeing early in the year, because I would say probably the last week or two have been, a little bit more back down to earth. And, I want to see them get hot. Let's have a hot July starting tonight, 4:05, Minnesota at Baltimore. And let's go ahead and start stringing together some wins. All right? So, go Birds. Have a wonderful day, Birdland. And I'll see you later.